Right, with the Melbourne Nutrien sales, April 13, and it's a big weekend, the 11th, 12th and 13th. Great to catch up with Louise Toulmin here at Oakbank Farm. Firstly, welcome, Louise.
Thank you.
You've got to move that a little bit closer, but that's okay. The boys have walked off on us too, so we don't have to worry. Gary in his pink socks. He doesn't want to be on camera with those pink socks, does he?
No, he loves his pink socks, but he's a little bit shy in front of the camera.
We've had a bit of a day, myself and Mark, here in Ballarat today, and it's great to see some, well, beautiful stock. Doesn't matter where you go. You guys have got 4 horses going through the sale, 1 filly and 3 colts. You must be one wrapped with them.
Yeah, no, really happy. You know, it's been a long season, starting back in February, and now we're sort of into that last little bit. But we're really proud of this draft that we're taking to Nutrien.
Very intriguing. A Captain Treacherous colt for a start. That ticks a lot of boxes for people. Yeah,
no, look, he's a lovely little colt. He's not overly big, but he's very powerful, and from a family that doesn't throw them big, and a proven family. So he's from the party family. So I think he's well and truly worth a look.
He's got a massive backside. That's the best way to put it. Nicely, I suppose, is it?
Yeah, well, I think he's going to derive an awful lot of power from the back end.
That's a great way of putting it. We'll start with your favourite, Chestnut Pete, as he's more commonly known, and he has to nearly have a race name of that if we can get it worked out. But the Used to Me colt, I don't know actually what lot number he is, but you and I were saying there, and Gary was saying the job that Used to Me does is just outstanding. He leaves Group 1 winners. He's best value sire, if you like, for prize money. But this horse on top, he's a cracker.
No, he is. Like people probably say, why did you breed to Used to Me? Gary really liked the cross with the Used to Me over Maori Danu. She's a mare that's been a lot of trouble getting in foal, and Gary did like the cross, so we went to a chilled stallion in Used to Me. And look, to be honest, I don't think you would can find too many faults with him.
He's going to be a chance in the best presented. Like, he's got a lot of look at me about him, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, look, he's a beautiful colour. He's got great skin. He's got the blaze. He's definitely throwing a lot of the characteristics of Used to Me, and Used to Me currently sitting 5th on the size
and
list.
That's a great stat that people don't realise. Like, as I said, he's left 3 to 4 Group 1 winners. He left 1 in his first year with Don't Care. Actually, he's got a bit of Don't Care look about him, which is the sire. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, look, it's just he's a phenomenal. He's done a phenomenal job for really not getting much accolades Used to Me, and we just sort of, I suppose, because we've got one going to the sales, you're probably looking more at the stock, and I think he had 3 cup winners a couple of weeks ago, and he just consistently throws winners, and like Avant Garde's going really good too at the moment.
They keep improving.
Yeah,
that's one thing. They are great horses. Then a couple of intriguing ones. You also wear a different hat. You got the Harasser Trotters hat on, and we've got 2 trotters here that 3 actually, because the other bloke, geez, I'm sorry, Pete. But you've got the Orlando Vici colt. I didn't find out his stable name, but I was really taken by him. Athletic, racy type, and Orlando Vici 100% producer still, which is just an amazing stat. There's not a lot of them around, but just when they hit the tracks, they win.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah, his name's Silky.
Silky,
he's a lovely. His photos on the website's been on there for quite some time, but it's probably a true indication that he's actually a lot darker than that photo represents.
Yeah, don't when you go to the sales think, oh, this is a different horse. Yeah, he's really darkened up, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, he's just a lot darker, and he's grown a lot through yearling prep. And he's probably just improved greatly through prep. Just his actual conformation and his actual, condition. He's put a lot of condition on through prep, and he's an outstanding type now. He's one that's really improved.
And eligible for a lot of initiatives, as well as the other bloke and the last filly we'll touch on in a minute with the HDT, but New South Wales and Victorian sire stakes, but also the kicker, New Zealand sire stakes for this bloke and the next one in a minute, which we need people to be aware of, because you've got to be able to maximise your return and exposure to to as many people as you can.
Yeah, look, I think the Used to Me, the Orlando Vici and the Bird Parker, they're all eligible for the Harada Trotters 2-year-old classic. It's only 4 horses that are bred by our stallion stallions. I think in all there might be potentially 150 horses that would be eligible. That's both sex, but we've got a single sex finals. But there is a percentage of those, probably 60, that were bred in New Zealand. So how many of the New Zealanders decide to pay up? And so I think your actual the statistics or the percentage of horses you're going to be up against to win that $75,000 is quite small. So.
Any of those trotters that go through here are obviously eligible for the Nutrien trotting series, which will be run in August this year. People need to be aware, with the HDT and the Nutrien race, they are the two richest single-sex races for trotters. $75,000 for the colts and geldings and $75,000 for the fillies. So, again, maximising your return, which was another one that we missed. Put on top of that your Vic bred, your New South Wales bred, your New Zealand size stakes, massive opportunities for people.
Yeah, look, I think the thing is that's what people need to, are probably looking at the buys and just sort of working out, what horses are eligible for. And then they can sort of go, okay, well, eligible to win, close to, probably, well over 150, 200,000, they're eligible to win as a 2-year-old. So it is a lot of money that is on offer. So, yeah. And
then the last of yours is a Bird Parker filly, the fourth horse you'll be selling. Certainly not the least. She's beautiful, is the best way to put her. And the Bird Parker's just sold so well in New Zealand as well earlier this year.
Yeah, I think, it's quite funny because I remember when she was born and I went out to work out to Yabby Farms and Pat had the Nyetta colt born around about the similar time, and I remember going with Bianca, we're taking photos of foals out there, and we got up to Nyetta's split yard and I saw the foal and I quickly rang Gary and I said, oh my God, Gary, it looks like our filly. He was a bit bigger, but he definitely threw a type. Yeah. I've looked at, photos of Bird Parker and I think, he has, but he was a dominant racehorse. He's a well and truly proven sire in France and Europe. And, like we've talked about before, his time that he went over 2 miles is a second faster than Lazarus did as a pacer. So he's a serious racehorse. She trots just naturally, and the harder you work her, the more she enjoys it. So she's a big girl, and we've got a lot of faith that she'll do a really good job.
Carefully, I say this because she actually is very well developed now, but there's still great development coming in her. That's fair, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, she's running downhill.
But it's quite unique because there is plenty there now. It's not like she's going through a growth spurt and you can sort of picture what's there you want. But it is actually probably going to improve.
I know Gary looks at her every day and he's waiting for that front end to grow, and I keep sort of just saying, don't worry, sort of thing. So, you never know.
April 13 it has. So,
hopefully she has. But, she's, we're really, really proud of this draft of horses. My trotters are all by Harada Trotters stallions that, I'm very lucky to be able to market them. I know how good they are, the stats of what they've done. Orlando Vici, you can't, shy away from what he has done as a sire. And Silky is a really, really lovely colt. So we'll just hopefully people like what they see as much as what we do.
I'm going to throw you under the bus for one. Is Pete New South Wales breeders eligible as well? Or no, because he stood here. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got to clarify that. So anyone wondering with Pete, he's eligible for the Nutrien Trotters race, Vic bred, and also the HDT Classic as well.
Yes.
The other two trotters are eligible also for New South Wales breeders and then also New Zealand size stakes. So massive amount of futurities there available for those horses.
Yep, certainly are.
Thank you. Can't believe those other two didn't want to get on camera, but that's okay. I think we did a much better job than what they would have. Anyone wants to come into Oakbank, give yourself and Gary a call, but you will be there early. You guys
we'll be there on Friday. I think, maybe I'm not sure, some might go down late Thursday, but they'll all be down there on the Friday.
Friday afternoon, and they'll be there for inspection. Yep,
they'll be there for inspection, and anyone, is wanting to come for a drive down, people that are coming down maybe for the race series the week before, feel free. We're not actually far from Melton, it's only a 50-minute trip down from that area, so feel free to come and have a look.
It's a good point. I don't know I should have probably counted it up, but myself and Mark Barton, you come up here to Ballarat, and pretty easy after morning and that to inspect a large quantity of the horses going through the sales.
It's quite funny you say that because you sort of try to mix up and how do you market your horses the best, and Pat and I were discussing. I actually spoke to Jamie Lee from Durham Park, and maybe it is something that we sort of pinch a little bit of the New Zealand model, and have a Ballarat day, and maybe it was something we probably should have looked at a little bit more in respect to the race series being here the week before. But anybody's feel free, and I'm sure they'd be able to coordinate something between Yabby Dam Farms. Hayley and Chris have got 3 really nice trotters also going to the sales, and they're only 15 minutes from here too. So you basically have got an awful lot of horses in a small area if they'd like to come and have a look.
Durham Park are 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Go 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then across the Pat. So
and I can also then recommend a really good coffee shop in Bunninghill.
Well, there's a couple. Don't worry about that. I know my way around those ones as well. Louise, thank you.
No worries.
Good luck with the draft. We'll see you beforehand, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
And don't forget to go to nutrienstandardbred.com.au, which is a new website to look at all the lots. Louise,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you.